Breaking: Serap gives Buhari government 24 hours to withdraw gag order on reporting of terrorist attack. Good day everyone and welcome back to our channel. This is latest Naija news. If you are meeting our channel for the first time, you are highly welcome. Please do well to like, share and subscribe, and kindly help us click on the bell icon as well, so that each time or each day we upload a new video, you'll be the first person to get notified. Thank you so much as you do so today I have a news before me, and how we'll be reading from the decks. It says, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) had sent an open letter to President Muhammadu Buhari, urging him to use his leadership position to urgently instruct Mr. Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information and Cultural and National Broadcasting Commission (NBC), to withdraw the directing containing a whipping gang order banning journalists and broadcasting stations from reporting details of terrorist attack and victims across the country. The NBC had, in a letter dated 7 July 2021, issued a directive asking journalists, television and radio stations in Nigeria to stop glamorizing and giving too many details on the nefarious activities of terrorists and kidnappers during their daily newspaper reviews. Can you guys just imagine? The SERAP, in a letter dated 17th July 2021 and signed by its Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadara, said the content of the directive by the NBC to journalists and broadcast stations are entirely inconsistent and incompatible with Nigeria obligations under Article 9 of the Africa Charter on Human and People's Rights and Article 19 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. SERAP said, "We'll be grateful if the repressive directive is withdrawn within 24 hours of receipt and of this letter. If we have not heard from you by then, SERAP shall take all appropriate legal action in the public interests." Very good. The organization expressed grave concern that the content of NBC directive would impressibly restrict the right to freedom of expression, information, and victim right to justice and effect remedies that the central to the public debate and accountability in a democratic society. It's obvious that country called Nigeria, they want to deny everybody their freedom of speech and expression, which is very, very bad. Let's keep reading. SERAP said reporting on the growing violence and killing in many parts of the country is a matter of public interest. The NBC directive to journalists and broadcast stations to stop reporting these cases, coupled with the possibility of fines and other punishments, would have a chilling effect on the work of those seeking to hold the government accountable to the public. The letter read in part, "The broad definition of what many constitutes too many details, glamorizing, devising rhetoric and security issues, heightening concern of overreached, confer far-reaching discretion on the government, and suggestion that the NBC directive is more instructive than necessary." These words or phrases do not indicate precisely what kind of individual conduct would fall within the ambit. The vague and overboard definitions of too many details, glamorizing, divisive rhetoric, and security issues also raise concern that the NBC directive unduly interferes with the right of freedom of expression and information and is disproportionate to any purported legitimate governmental aim. I will define overlay broad directives are open arbitrary application and abuse. The use of these words and phrases by the NBC, given their opaque and ambitious meaning, leaves open the possibility for application beyond unequivocal incitement to utter hostility or violence. Such words and phrases many function to interpret legitimate reporting by broadcast station, journalists, and other Nigeria as unlawful. Exacerbating this concern and growing restriction of civic space, the suspension of Twitter in Nigeria and the attempts by your government to push for the amendment of this Nigerian Press Council Act and the National Broadcasting Commission Act to further suppress media freedom, freedom of expression, and access to information. Allowing the media to freely carry out their duties is essential to building a secure society and leaving no one behind. Conversely, imposing impermissible restriction on broadcast stations, journalists, and other Nigeria undermines the security that builds a healthy and vibrant society. Article 19, Bracket 1 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights establishes the right of freedom of opinion without interference. Article 19, Bracket 2 establishes Nigerian obligation to respect and ensure those rights, which include freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of all kinds, regardless frontiers and through any media of one's choice. Under Article 19, Bracket 3, restriction on the right of freedom of expression must be provided by law and necessary for respect of the right or reputation of others or for the protection of national security or public order or of public health and morals. Although Article 19, Bracket 3 recognizes national security and legitimate aim, the Human Rights Council, the body charged with monitoring implementation of the Covenant, has stressed the need to ensure invocation of national security is not used unjustifiable, arbitrarily to restrict the right to freedom of opinion and expression. Since Article 19 promotes so clearly a right to information of all kinds, this indicates that your government bears the burden of justifying any restriction on reporting of cases of violations and killing and withholding of such information as an expectation to the right. Any restriction should be applied strictly so that they do not put the jeopardy the right itself. The NBC directive to broadcast station fails to meet requirements of legality, necessity, and proportionality. The requirement of necessity also implies an assessment of the proportionality of the restrictions, such as those being imposed by the NBC, with the aim of ensuring that the restriction target a specified objective and do not unduly intrude upon the rights of targeted persons. The interference with constitutional and legal duty of journalists and broadcast stations cannot be justified in the contents of the right information, as the NBC directive has not shown that their reporting would impose a specific risk of harm to a legitimate state interest that outweigh the public interest in such information. The NDC may also create an environment that unduly deters the penalizes broadcast stations and journalists and the reporting of government wrongdoing more generally. The Special Rapporteur on the Right to Freedom Expression has concluded that national security consideration should be limited in application to situations in which the interest of the whole nation is at stake, which would thereby exclude restriction in sole interest of a government, regime, or power group. Serap notes collective interdependency of compendium of constitutional and international human rights, which function collectively complement and enhance the advancement of the security and the right of each individual in society. We hope that the aspects enlightened will help guide your action in acting to ensure that Nigerian journalists and media can freely carry